Right now, who would you rather have? CJ Stroud, Jared Goff.
From the perspective of being the Texans quarterback or like in the
Who would you
NFL?
rather have?
Well, as the quarterback of the Houston Texans this week, I'd rather have CJ Stroud.
Okay, good.
Because if you flipped them, there's no chance Jared Goff has a chance behind the Texans offensive line.
No chance he has a chance.
Yep. I realized that as I said.
No. That's,
I know.
You doubled the effect.
But CJ Stroud, like we've seen him navigate the Texans offensive line last year. We've seen what he did against. At some point, I gotta stop going back.
Navigate is such a polite way to put it.
Against what he did against Georgia in the college football playoff. Like
yeah. Speaking of Georgia, he's been navigating around like Georgia people navigate in their cars in Athens, Georgia. Because he's been having to it, and I mean, sadly he gets pulled over a lot, despite all of this crazy erratic driving he's doing.
Yeah, but like, if someone's gonna overcome these challenges, I would bet on CJ Stroud over Goff. I don't think Goff could handle this at all.
Todd the Show says Goff is a more accurate passer. I mean, this year,
agreed.
That is true. Goff is on pace to set records with how accurate he's been. I think right now he's on pace to throw 74.5%. It's insane. Now, he's not throwing for a lot of yards downfield, and he does have the help of the either best or second best running game in the NFL. Depends on what you feel about the Ravens and I guess the Eagles too, because Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, that's pretty good. The Ravens have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry's big old cheeks like we saw last night. That's pretty good. And on top of that, you've got in the Lions, Sonic and Knuckles.
And
who's Sonic? I don't know. Who's Knuckles? I don't know. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are Sonic and Knuckles.
Gibbs is Sonic.
Gibbs and Sonic. Montgomery Knuckles.
Damn, Montgomery's just going to be Knuckles.
Is it better than Thunder and Lightning? Like Reggie Bush and Lendell White?
At least it's different.
Yeah, it is different.
Like everyone's been Thunder, like CJ Spiller and I forgot the other Clemson running back in the day, but they were Thunder.
Lendell White and Chris Johnson were that for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Lendell White's has been Thunder twice.
Well, that's why you can tell it's bad. The same player, like you can't always be Thunder. So I appreciate that they went with something different. But yeah, I just if Goff was the quarterback of the Texans, they have probably 2 wins this season.
RBT times 713 says Goff between the two. He hasn't been getting smacked all year, making him a paranoid passer.
Yes, because he plays behind the best offensive line.
They do have a really good offensive line.
Also, yes.
That's why he hasn't gotten smacked.
But he hasn't gotten smacked. So going into this game, he's not assuming he's going to get smacked. He would be in for. I mean, if he woke up, it's a Freaky Friday, and CJ Stroud is in Jared Goff's body, and Jared Goff is in CJ Stroud's body.
This would be a great plot to a movie.
It really would be, because Jared Goff is going to not feel very good at the end of the day.
He'd be like, "Wait, they're coming how fast?
What? Where's the sun again?
Wait, did Kendrick Green touch him?"
It's probably time we get a sports version of these movies. Like we've seen it in everything else.
Yeah, Sports Freaky Friday. I'm kind of down with that.
There used to be a book series that I read growing up called the Monday Night Football Club, and these kids had a magical sweater, and they'd put on the sweater during Monday Night Football, and then they would be transported into the body of a player in that game. It was a great book series. I loved it.
Really?
Yeah. They made a couple of TV shows out of it too.
Wow.
Yeah, Monday Night Football Club. Oh, it was great. I loved it growing up.
Huh. I never heard of that.
One of them was Junior Seau. One of them was
Joe Theismann.
No, I think Steve Young. It wasn't that old. F you. It wasn't that old.
I guess it was Monday night. No, he got his leg broken on Monday night.
I mean, John Elway one.
The books could have been written before.
No, it was 90s football. It was mid 90s. They were good. They were good, man.
Joe Namath.
Shut up. I'm not that old.
Brown.
I'm not that old. At the very least, give me something 80s. I look like Tom Selleck right now.
Steve Largent. There you go.
Who was the quarterback for the Patriots in '85?
Steve Grogan.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a neck roll. I'm not kidding. He was wearing
that's incredible. A quarterback in a neck roll.
Speaking of guys who are running for their life, it was him. And and by the way, they had a first-round pick named Tony Eason, who they put in. And that guy was considered to be one of the softer quarterbacks in the game. And at some point, Eason got hurt in the middle of their 1985 season, where they won 3 games on the road before they played the Bears in the Super Bowl shuffle. And then the Bears just murdered them. Poor Steve Grogan, I think, got knocked out of that game. So they had to put Tony Eason back in. Didn't go so well.
Did not. Wish I was live for that one. I just have one good memory. But yeah, for this weekend, I'll take. If it was the quarterback of the Texans, I would take C.J. Stroud, but Goff will be the better quarterback at the end of the day on Sunday.
Goff's in the better situation. It really is that. Some people are making the completion percentage argument. It's like the same thing with yards to me. Completion percentage. Sam Bradford had a good completion percentage. You tell me that guy was good. Like that's not the trump card here.
Didn't he have like the best of all time?
Yeah, it was insane. That's what happens when you throw 2-yard passes all the time. But that's not me nitpicking Goff. Goff has done really good in this situation. I think Stroud is more talented than Goff. I don't think it's particularly close. In terms of their talent, it's because Stroud has that mobility, and I do think Stroud can put the ball anywhere. Goff does have his moments where you're like, what the hell did you just do there? He just hasn't had many this year. And hey, if we're talking about right now and right here, I don't feel like Goff is going to screw things up for the Lions, and that is a lot further down the road in his development than I think we ever thought he would be. Because as we talked about earlier this week, when they did that swap with the Lions, the Rams did, where they sent Jared Goff to LA for Stafford. I think it was so that the salary would end up working out more than anything. I mean, no one thought Goff would ever do anything again. People were wondering if the Lions would draft a quarterback in that year's draft. They were wondering if the Lions would draft a quarterback the next year's draft.
Hell, when they took Hendon Hooker in like the 3rd round out of Tennessee, people thought he was the heir apparent to Jared Goff, and he was going to be the guy eventually. So Jared Goff they've done an incredible job building this roster. And part of that is the fact that they got multiple 1st-round picks to take on Jared Goff's salary. Because that's the thing, is it like we can't be too revisionist history. That's what it was. They acquired multiple 1st-round picks to take on a massive contract and get a quarterback and giving up on Matthew Stafford. And then they built a great team around him. If you put most of these, top-end quarterbacks in Detroit, they're doing the exact same thing than Goff. I mean, he has 2 guys who are going to rush for 1,000 yards this year. Life is easy for Goff right now.
Life is easy for Goff right now, but that better situation does bode well for Detroit on Sunday. I feel better about the Texans against the Lions, and we'll see if the line is updated from Lions by 3.5 since the news of Nico Collins being returned from injured reserve at 11